Right now, 5 sensors in your engine are feeding bad data to your car's computer. Not because they broke, because nobody ever cleaned them. Shops see the codes these dirty sensors throw and skip straight to the expensive fix. $800, $1,200, sometimes $2,400 for parts that were never the problem. Every sensor on this list can be cleaned at home in 15 minutes for under $10. And at the end, I'm giving you 4 questions that will expose any shop trying to sell you parts you don't need. Keep them in your glove box. You'll need them. And if you're driving a classic with no sensors at all, enjoy it. You already won this game. Sensor 1, the MAF, the one that exposes everything. The mass airflow sensor sits between your air filter and throttle body, measuring how much air enters the engine. Over 30 to 50,000 miles, a film of oil vapor, dust, and carbon builds up on sensing elements thinner than a human hair. No warning light, no dramatic failure, just slow contamination, turning accurate readings into garbage. That garbage triggers everything. Lean codes, rich codes, O2 sensor codes, catalytic converter codes. The computer sees bad data, tries to compensate, fails, and throws every code it has. Shops pull those codes and see a menu of expensive repairs. They never look at the sensor sending the bad data. One driver with a 2019 Mazda CX-5 paid $2,400 across 2 dealership visits. O2 sensors, injectors, diagnostic fees. Rough idle kept coming back. The MAF was cleaned in her driveway. Idle smoothed out instantly. Fuel economy jumped from 25 to 28 miles per gallon. Code never returned. How to clean it? Buy MAF sensor cleaner. $8. Not carb cleaner, not brake cleaner. Those destroy the element. Turn off ignition. 3. Disconnect the connector by pressing the release tab. Remove the torque screws, usually T20 or T25. Hold the sensor with the element facing down. Spray 3 short bursts, 30 seconds between each. Never touch the element. Let it dry 5 minutes. Reinstall. Disconnect the battery negative for 10 minutes to reset fuel trims. Reconnect. Idle 2 minutes without touching the throttle. 15 minutes. $8. That's the $2,400 repair. K&N warning. If you run a reusable oiled air filter, over-oiling is the #1 cause of chronic MAF contamination. Oil mist migrates downstream and coats the element. Clean your MAF every time you re-oil that filter. Use less oil than you think you need. Sensor 2, the throttle body and TPS. The fake transmission problem, this gets misdiagnosed as a transmission problem more than anything else. Hesitation, jerky shifts, random power loss, feels exactly like a failing transmission. It's not. Carbon builds up on the throttle plate over 50 to 60,000 miles, interfering with movement. The throttle position sensor reads inconsistent data because the plate is physically sticking and releasing. The computer sends bad shift commands. Shop sees erratic throttle data and starts talking transmission service. $300 minimum just to look. One customer was quoted $3,200 for a new transmission. Problem had been getting worse for 2 months. Cleaned the throttle body and reset TPS adaptation values in 25 minutes. Car drove perfectly. That $3,200 transmission was never the problem. The fix: $6 can of throttle body cleaner. Remove the air intake tube, spray the plate, and bore while someone slowly opens the throttle. Wipe with a clean rag. This fixes 70% of these cases completely. The symptoms to watch for: hesitation from a dead stop, jerky shifts between first and second, hunting idle that surges, and random power loss that comes and goes. That random loss is what scares people into authorizing anything. Don't let fear drive your wallet. Sensor 3, the map, the turbo killer. Nobody checks. The map sensor measures pressure inside the intake manifold. If your car has a turbo, it also monitors boost. Bad MAP data on a turbo engine means the computer can't see boost. Power drops, and the turbo feels like it's gone. The signature symptom is rhythmic surging on the highway at steady throttle, not misfiring, pulsing. That's the MAP losing pressure signal under load. Shops quote a new sensor at $150 to $300, but the map port gets clogged with carbon. One Subaru WRX owner had weak boost and highway surging. Shop quoted $680 for a new sensor, plus boost leak testing. The MAP port was completely blocked, cleared with compressed air and a pick in 4 minutes. Boost returned immediately. The fix: inspect the vacuum line or port for blockage, thin wire or compressed air. 2 minutes. Also check for cracked hoses between throttle body and engine. A vacuum leak creates false readings that make the MAP look failed when it's fine. Sensor 4. The CKP. The one that causes panic. When this sensor fails, people panic. And panicking in a dealership waiting room is the most expensive thing you can do. The crankshaft position sensor tells the computer exactly where each piston is at any millisecond. Without it, ignition timing and fuel injection are blind guesses. Failing looks like this: engine cranks but won't start, or starts fine cold, runs 20 minutes, stalls at a traffic light, won't restart for 30 minutes, then fires up like nothing happened. That heat-related intermittent stall is the signature. Shops see a no start, scare the customer with talk of timing chains and engine damage, and quote $2,000 for a diagnostic deep dive. The sensor costs $40 to $120. Labor is 1 hour. Honest repair, $150 to $250. But first check the connector. It lives low on the engine, exposed to debris, oil, and constant heat. Pins corrode. Corrosion creates intermittent signal loss. One Ford F-150 owner visited 3 shops over 4 months. First replaced the fuel pump, $620. Problem came back. Second, replaced the ignition module, $480. Problem came back. Third, quoted $400 just to inspect the timing chain. Instead, the CKP connector was cleaned and dielectric grease applied. 18 months later, 0 issues. $1,100 in previous repairs fixed nothing because nobody checked a $3 connector. The fix: electrical contact cleaner on the connector, dielectric grease. Reconnect. $3, 10 minutes. If the problem persists, check the reluctor wheel on the crankshaft. Metallic debris or a damaged tooth sends erratic signals even when the sensor is fine. Sensor 5. The O2, the most replaced sensor in the industry. The oxygen sensor measures exhaust oxygen, so the computer can fine-tune fuel delivery. Shops love replacing this one because it sounds technical, and customers never question it. Here's the truth. A lean code like P0171 or P0174 does not mean the O2 sensor failed. It means the computer saw a lean condition, and that condition has multiple causes. The O2 is just the messenger. In the majority of cases, the real culprit is the dirty MAF we already covered. I'm not telling you to clean the O2 sensor. Those run hot enough to self-clean during normal driving. What I am telling you is before any shop replaces your O2 sensors, the MAF must be cleaned, vacuum leaks must be checked, and fuel pressure must be verified. 3 checks, 20 minutes, 0 cost. Shops skip all 3. The sensor itself is $30 to $50 at any parts store. At a shop with labor and diagnostics, $200 to $400 per sensor. If they replace all 4 when only 1 code showed up, you're past $1,500 for a problem that was probably a dirty MAF. One Tacoma owner paid $780 for both upstream O2 sensors at a dealership. Lean code came back in 300 miles. Same code, fresh sensors. The MAF was contaminated. Cleaned in 15 minutes. Code never came back. Those $780 sensors were functioning perfectly the entire time. The honesty clause. Cleaning fixes the majority of cases, but sometimes a sensor is genuinely worn out. One of our viewers cleaned her MAF and MAP. Code went away, came back a week later, cleaned again, came back again. She replaced both sensors, and the problem was finally solved. The rule is simple. Always clean first. If the code returns within a week, the sensor likely needs replacement. But now you know it's actually the sensor, not a misdiagnosis. You save the diagnostic fee, and you're buying a $35 part instead of a $500 shop repair. The cheat sheet and preventive calendar. 4 questions for your glove box. Next time a shop quotes you $800, ask the right one. Lean code, rough idle, bad fuel economy. Did you clean the MAF sensor first? Hesitation, jerky shifts, power loss. Did you clean the throttle body first? Intermittent no start, heat-related stalling. Did you check the CKP connector for corrosion? Highway surging? Weak boost? Did you check the MAP port for blockage? Ask that question. Watch what happens to the quote. Preventive schedule. Even if your car runs perfectly, clean the MAF every 30 to 50,000 miles or with every air filter change. $8, 15 minutes. Clean the throttle body every 50 to 60,000 miles. $6, 20 minutes. Check the MAPI port every 50,000 miles. $0, 5 minutes. Inspect and grease the CKP connector every 2 to 3 years or past 100,000 miles. $3, 10 minutes. Total, $17 and 50 minutes once a year. That prevents hundreds or thousands in misdiagnosed repairs down the road. If you've been to multiple shops, replaced multiple parts, and the same codes keep coming back, stop spending money. Start from scratch. Clean the MAF, clean the throttle body, check the MAP port, inspect every connector. The expensive parts shops already replaced were probably never the problem. If this saved you money, drop your symptoms in the comments right now. Tell us exactly what your car is doing, and we'll tell you which sensor to check first.